Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I am Uzma Jafri. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Thursday, the 14th of June. Soldier, 2 militants killed in gunfight in India's Jammu and Kashmir. Pakistan supporting terrorism matter of concern for world, says experts. And Afghans welcome ceasefire between government and Taliban. And now for all the details. An Indian Army personnel and 2 militants were killed in encounter in the forest area of Bandipora district of India's Jammu and Kashmir province on Thursday. The encounter began on the 6th day of an anti-militant operation when militants fired upon the search party.
A soldier and 2 militants were killed in an encounter in Bandipora district of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province on Thursday. A massive search and combing operation was reportedly launched last week when militants and security forces exchanged gunfight in Rainar forest area. The encounter began on the 6th day of the operation when militants fired upon the search party. The soldier, who sustained bullet injuries during the encounter, was rushed to a military hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. The encounter comes after 4 security personnel were killed on Wednesday after Pakistan violated ceasefire in Samba district of the strife-torn province. India accuses Pakistan of training and arming militants and helping them infiltrate across the border to spread unrest in Kashmir Valley. Pakistan denies the allegations.
Air quality in Indian capital New Delhi was dragged to unhealthy levels again on Thursday, mainly due to dust storms from western India. Quality of air has worsened in New Delhi in recent years, making it the 6th most polluted city in the world, a report suggests.
Air quality in India's capital, New Delhi, plummeted to unhealthy levels on Thursday, putting residents at risk, mainly due to the dust storms from western India. A US embassy measure showed levels of poisonous airborne particles known as PM2.5 had reached 194 on Thursday morning, leading to quality of air to drop down to unhealthy category. Early morning joggers in the capital complained of burning sensation in the eyes and breathing difficulties.
3-4 दिन से तो बड़ा धूल हो रही है बहुत और व्हीकल की वजह से ही जो है ना आंखें जलने लगती हैं। देखिए दिल्ली के पॉल्यूशन की वजह से आंखों में जलन है और जैसे हम लोग दौड़ते हैं सुबह वॉक करते हैं दौड़ते हैं उससे भी जो है ना सांस चढ़ जाता है दौड़ते हैं।
During exercise and during warm up and when you are running, so we can't run too much because when we are doing practice 3 to 4 kilometer, but in the pollution we are doing 1 kilometer 500 meter because we have the breathing difficulty.
Air quality has worsened in New Delhi in recent years, prompting Prime Minister Narendra Modi's office to directly monitor measures to clean up the capital's air. A report by the World Health Organization last month said India was home to the world's 14 most polluted cities, where Delhi ranked 6th most polluted.
In news from Pakistan, Pakistan's ousted Premier Nawaz Sharif on Thursday hired a new lawyer to represent him in the corruption references filed against him after Khwaja Haris recused himself from the case on June 11. Defense lawyer Khwaja Haris withdrew himself from representing his client Sharif in all 3 corruption references against the Sharif family after the Supreme Court's earlier directives to wrap up the trial within a month. On Thursday, Sharif's new counsel Jahangir Jadoon appeared before the Accountability Court during the hearing of the Evanfield reference to submit the power of attorney on behalf of his client. Sharif and his family members are facing the corruption references, accused of money laundering, tax evasion and hiding offshore assets. The next hearing is scheduled to be held on June 19. Moving on. The growing roots of terrorism in South Asia concerns the world. Be it the Taliban or the Islamic State, these terror outfits are getting stronger with the backing of states and security forces. Recently, a Europe-based think tank expressed concern over Pakistan supporting terrorist organizations on its soil, which is also a threat to regional security.
Zunaid Qureshi, director of the European Foundation for South Asian Studies or EFSAS, recently expressed concern over the growing level of radicalization in Pakistan and in other parts of South Asia. While addressing a seminar in Germany, Qureshi said countries like Pakistan have been using dreaded terrorists as its proxies against India and Afghanistan. He said the nexus between state and non-state actors is a challenge to deal with.
Local grievances and social political dynamics have been exploited by terrorist groups like Al-Qaeda, ISIL, Hizbul Mujahideen, Lashkar-e-Toiba, the Afghan and Pakistani Taliban, and many others, generating a global master narrative of conflict. Many of these groups are known to receive active support from state actors to pursue strategic objectives.
Experts have shown concern as Pakistan has only acted against terror groups that developed an anti-Pakistan agenda and are considered a threat to the regime. Islamabad's treatment of good and bad terrorists concerns regional security and safety.
In news from Afghanistan, the announcement of ceasefire between the government and militant group Taliban has become the source of pleasure for citizens in Afghanistan. They are now freely visiting the markets ahead of the festival of Eid and are buying Eid necessities.
People in Afghanistan have welcomed the announcement of ceasefire between government and militant group Taliban on the eve of Eid and hope it gets extended from both sides. The residents of Kabul city and scores of citizens from across the country are now coming to the capital to buy Eid's necessities as there is no fear of attacks. The fruit dealers in Kabul also expressed their happiness as the announcement of ceasefire has improved their sales.
بصورت آرام دل جمع بیاییم یک خرید کالای خدا کنیم اما این که نارامی باشه و دل آدم نارام باشه نمیتونه بصورت آرام یک لباس خریداری کنه و عید صحیح تجلیل کنه.
The Taliban has issued a statement saying it had ordered its fighters not to clash with Afghan security forces for the first 3 days of Eid. The group's ceasefire, however, does not include the foreign forces.
As Afghanistan started its maiden 5-day test match in India's southern Bengaluru city on Thursday, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi took to Twitter to congratulate the team. He expressed hope the historic cricket match between India and Afghanistan would strengthen ties between the South Asian neighbours.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday said on Twitter that he hoped a historic cricket match between India and Afghanistan would strengthen ties between the South Asian neighbours. Afghanistan started its maiden 5-day test match in the southern Indian city of Bengaluru on Thursday with a match attended by top government officials from both sides.
Of course, it is a historical event in our sports history and also in our relations between both countries as far as sport is concerned. The Afghan players, the Afghan cricket team, national cricket team, they have come a long way in a short period of time, and this is their first test match with the first team in the test match worldwide.
India has already offered war-ravaged Afghanistan 2 stadiums in the country to host matches with other nations. New Delhi enjoys close relations with Afghanistan and both accuse common neighbour Pakistan of not doing enough to tackle militants operating on its soil.
India and Afghanistan are like two inseparable brothers. We are completely committed to strengthening and rebuilding Afghanistan, including their sports. We've of course seen them in IPL. And congratulations to Afghanistan for becoming a full test nation now. And we would like to see them more in other sports as well, wrestling leagues, kabaddi leagues and many other Olympic sports.
Awarded full member status by the International Cricket Council or ICC alongside Ireland in June last year, Afghanistan became the 12th test playing nation after first being recognized by the ICC in 2001. India is the world's top ranked test side.
Inspired by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's radio show on organic farming, farmers in India's Jammu and Kashmir province have adopted the natural way of growing seasonal vegetables. The farmers are now growing vegetables without the use of chemical fertilizers and are happy after getting maximum output of their produce.
Farmers in Udhampur district of India's Jammu and Kashmir province are nowadays happy to have adopted organic farming and producing seasonal vegetables without the use of chemical fertilizers. Inspired by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's slogan that double the income of farmers by 2022 and the use of organic farming instead of chemical fertilizers, the farmers in Chental village of Udhampur are setting example. Earlier, the farmer used to grow seasonal vegetables in a very small land, but now grow it in 8 to 10 canal of land without the use of chemical fertilizers.
हमें सब्जी का ऐसे बहुत फायदा है, दोनों डबल रेट में हमारी सब्जी बिक रही है। जैसे प्रधानमंत्री भी बोलते हैं कि देसी खाद डालो, यूरिया वगैरह कम डालो, ये नहीं डालना, तो हम सब देसी खाद डालते हैं।
बताना चाहता हूँ कि जो प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी की मन की बात, अन्य कोई भी उनके इंटरव्यूज जो टीवी पे आते हैं किसानों के लिए, मैं उनके लिए उनका धन्यवाद करता हूं और लोगों को ये कहता हूं कि ज़्यादा तो ज़्यादा इस यूरिया से दूर रहें और अपना खाद जो कि देसी खाद है इसका ज़्यादा इस्तेमाल करें।
The farmers said they are also helped by the Agriculture Department, which educates them about the harmful effects of chemical fertilizers and the benefits of organic farming. After adopting the natural methods of producing vegetables, they are very much happy as they have got maximum output of their produce.
Muslims across India are nowadays visiting different markets for shopping during the festivities of the holy month of Ramadan ahead of the festival of al-Fitr. Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar, which involves rigorous fasting for about 30 days, after which Muslims celebrate Eid by offering prayers and preparing a lavish spread of traditional delicacies.
Markets in parts of northern India burst with activity as Muslims flock to different shops for shopping during the festivities of the Muslim holy month of Ramadan ahead of the festival of al-Fitr. Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar, which involves rigorous fasting for about 30 days. People in Varanasi city on Tuesday thronged markets to shop for food items, new clothes and jewelry. Shopkeepers were also happy as they did praise business.
ईद का तो माशाल्लाह बहुत उत्साह है चारों तरफ। आप देख ही रहे हैं जोश ही जोश है, लोगों के अंदर ख़रीदारी भी चल रही है और हर दुकान पर इस वक्त माशाल्लाह भीड़ ही है क्योंकि हर आदमी ईद की तैयारी में लगा हुआ है।
Meanwhile, similar scenes were also seen in Srinagar city of Jammu and Kashmir province, where shops were crowded as customers bought various items from vermicelli to sweets to garments to celebrate Eid.
अभी बहुत गहमा गहमी है मार्केट में, ईद की तैयार हो रही, खासकर जो बच्चों के मलबूसात हैं, जूते हैं, कपड़े हैं, लोग उनमें अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह काफ़ी बिजी हैं, वो सामान ले रहे हैं। बेकरी है, कॉन्फेक्शनरी है, स्वीट्स हैं, मिठाइयाँ हैं और बाकी जो ज़रूरियात ज़िंदगी हैं, लोग इस वक्त अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह से मशगूल हैं, सामान ले रहे हैं। बातों के साथ साथ लोग शॉपिंग भी कर रहे हैं।
After the month of fasting, Muslims celebrate Eid by offering prayers in the morning and preparing a lavish spread of traditional delicacies and spend the day with family and friends.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude the top stories once again. Soldier, 2 militants killed in gunfight in India's Jammu and Kashmir. Pakistan supporting terrorism, matter of concern for world, says expert. And Afghans welcome ceasefire between government and Taliban. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.